When the greatest sports car event of the year, the Le Mans 24-hour race, opens in brilliant sunshine. Favorites among the big machines are the Mercedes team, led by Fangio, with Sterling Moss, Carl Kling, and Pierre Levay. But the fans' eyes...
Yeah, there's a number of aspects of the 300 SL that stand out. And one, initially, the Forerunner won the Le Mans 24-hour race, the most prestigious endurance race in the world, in 1952. What's remarkable is that we're over 3,000 of these Gullwings and Roadsters produced, but the popularity that they enjoy. And I think more importantly, for the person who's both new to the cars as well as familiar, they're very easy to drive, relatively speaking, compared to other vintage automobiles. My name is Kevin Caulfield from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and what you see here I'm driving is a 1957 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Roadster that has been kindly lent to me by Dana and Patty Mika.
The 300 SL is just one of the most beautiful cars ever made, in my opinion. I mean, I mentioned earlier a magazine that I still have from the 90s. I was awestruck by it, and I really think it's got an amazing combination of curves and lines. I mean, every angle presents something different, from the rear, from the side, from the front, cruising along at 80 miles an hour and able to talk to each other. It's astounding aerodynamics. The engine noise, I can't think of anything not to like about it.
The 300 SL Classic Tour is something that I became involved with last year, the first running, courtesy of Ron Fiamma, the person that I'm driving with, who's a sponsor from AIG Insurance. And he invited me at the Rennsport reunion. He said, "Kevin, what are you doing this weekend?" And I said, "Have you heard of this tour?" And he said, "No, but now I have, and yeah, the weekend's open, let's go." So he was so excited that I've got a brand new Mercedes-Benz. And I didn't mean to be a buzzkill, but I was like, don't you have something more appropriate? Like, can't you trade it in at Mercedes Classic and get us a 300 SL Gullwing or Roadster? Or maybe one of your clients, their car needs some exercise. And he looked at me like I was just some ingrate. And I said, let me see what I can do about it. So a couple weeks later, I called Ron and said, you can call off the search. I found the car, 300 SL Roadster, the car you see here, and the rest is history.
So we came into Utah on Tuesday, and just the drive here was unbelievable. You know, my eyes were out on stalks. And I was thinking, how do you drive a car 1,200 miles in 4 days and take in the scenery at the same time?
You know, the car's function is the catalyst, but it's the people that make the event fun. Then there's a very eclectic group here that's very congenial to one another. There's the common denominator being the 300 SL, but what's really spectacular is so many of us have commented about never seeing this part of the world, and be able to spend 1,200 miles over 4 days driving through here and seeing this beautiful landscape that the U.S. has to offer. It's a memorable treat. In fact, already people are talking about, can we run this in reverse next year, or when can we do this again?
We've now had 1,000 miles under our belts, and at first the car was quite intimidating. I mean, you get into these corners, with drop-offs and rocks, and these are old cars without airbags, and it was not going to end well if we'd gone off the road, so I took it very easy. But then as my, the car's amazing. It's a supercar, so it's like a Porsche Carrera GT of the 50s. The views just spectacular. We had times we would just come down through the mountains and suddenly a vista would open up and it looked like, in my mind, I just want to push a camera shutter and capture that moment in time.
And having a single mark on the tour with the mechanics from Mercedes and so forth, the 10 most frequent parts to break, if you will, they have them all in the truck. So they know exactly what to do to keep you rolling. And it's a testimony to the mechanics as well as to Mercedes, because of the 39 cars on the tour, 38 arrived under their own power. And I think we had one with an extenuating circumstance. It probably could have made it, but rather than risk loss of value, I put it on the flatbed. So you think about it, and that's over a 97% success rate for cars that are over 60 years old. That's admirable.
Driving through southern Utah in this car with all of the views was a moment-by-moment art experience, especially if another one of these cars was in front of you. You just watched it move through, an open sky and canyons all around you. It was just a penultimate experience for me.
And we didn't want to stop at anything. We just wanted to get to the next thing, and just driving through and seeing all the mountains and the way everything was kind of set up, it was just unbelievable. Going through a couple of those parks and going through those bridges and everything, it was just really incredible for us. I mean, you're out here looking at this, landscape out here, and it's just one day to the next, it's just better than it ever was.
So that's a great endorsement for the event, the cars, the route, all the people involved in making this a really enjoyable event. So it gets a big thumbs up.